Welcome to the Night Historian, where I tell you good stories and help you sleep well. Subscribe and turn on notifications to follow every day. The Candlelight Diary of a Medieval Apothecary. Can you hear the soft crackle of the hearth fire as it settles into a steady glow, and the faint scent of dried herbs hanging in the cool, evening air? Imagine yourself stepping through the heavy oak door of a small, stone-walled shop nestled in the quiet corner of a medieval village. The sky outside has just slipped into twilight, a soft purple melting into deep blue, and inside, the flicker of candlelight dances gently across wooden shelves crowded with curious bottles, bundles of fragrant plants, and clay jars etched with fading symbols. This is the world of the apothecary, a keeper of quiet wisdom and healing, where days unfold like slow breaths, filled with the subtle magic of nature's remedies and the careful art of mixing. Our story begins with the apothecary himself, an unassuming man named Elias, whose life is woven from the earth's gifts and the humble routines of his craft. Elias's mornings always start before dawn, when the village still slumbers under a blanket of mist. He moves softly through the narrow streets, his breath visible in the cold air, heading toward the herb garden behind his home. There, dew clings to leaves and petals, sparkling faintly in the first pale light. Each leaf is familiar: chamomile for calming, lavender for dreams, rosemary for memory. And Elias gently gathers them with practiced hands, whispering thanks to the earth. The scent of damp soil and crushed herbs is a quiet blessing, a reminder of the cycle that binds him to this place. Back in his workshop, the sun spills through a small, latticed window, casting lattice-shaped shadows over jars and bottles. Elias's fingers brush over dried roots and powders, each with its own story. There is the bitter bark of willow, once chewed by peasants for pain, the sweet resin of frankincense, carried far on caravan trails, and the sharp, peppery seeds of black mustard, known to stir the blood and awaken the senses. The shop is alive with sound if you listen closely: the soft rustle of parchment as Elias writes notes in his diary, the clink of glass as he measures out powders, and the low hum of beeswax candles as they melt slowly in their brass holders. The air is warm, touched with the scent of herbs and smoke, a balm for tired minds. Elias is a patient man, his hands steady, his eyes kind but thoughtful. He listens to the villagers who come seeking remedies for aching limbs, restless nights, or unsettled stomachs. Some arrive with whispered hopes, others with quiet fear. He never rushes, knowing that healing is as much about comfort as it is about the ingredients he blends. There is a small, faded stool by the fireplace where Elias often sits to prepare his salves and tinctures. Here, he works slowly, grinding dried herbs with a stone mortar and pestle, mixing them carefully with honey or vinegar. Each potion is made with reverence, a small prayer for health whispered under his breath. As dusk deepens, the village grows still, save for the occasional bark of a dog or the soft murmur of a night breeze through the trees. The flicker of candlelight softens the edges of the room, and Elias closes his diary for the night, his thoughts drifting like the shadows on the walls. In these quiet moments, the apothecary's world feels infinite, a tapestry of tiny miracles hidden in leaves and roots, the soft pulse of the earth beneath stone and sky. And perhaps, as you listen now, you can feel the same gentle rhythm settling within you, a slow breath in the dark, inviting rest and peace. Rest here a while, in the warmth of flickering light, before the next day unfolds anew. Can you imagine the gentle hush of a village waking beneath a pale, misty dawn? The sky blushing faintly with the first light, soft and slow, as if the world itself were stirring from a long, peaceful sleep. In the apothecary's shop, the wooden shutters creak open just enough to let in a sliver of morning air, cool and fresh, carrying the faint scent of earth and distant wood smoke. Elias begins his day again in this quiet way, moving through familiar rhythms that feel like the soft pulse of life itself. The shelves, dusted lightly with the memories of yesterday's work, stand ready to greet him like old friends. Today, the garden calls him once more, a secret patch of green tucked behind the weathered stone walls where he grows his rarest herbs. There, the leaves glisten with dew, and the air is thick with the hum of bees lazily beginning their day. The violet blossoms nod gently, heavy with nectar, while the scent of mint curls around his fingers as he gathers it for a soothing tea. These small acts of tending to the plants are almost meditative, each leaf plucked with care, each stem examined for the perfect freshness. Back in the workshop, the light shifts slowly as Elias arranges his morning's gathering on the sturdy wooden table. The colors are muted but rich: pale green sage, deep purple lavender, golden chamomile flowers, and fresh sprigs of thyme. There is a softness here, in the touch of the leaves and the earthy aroma rising up like a quiet song. Today's task is to prepare a balm for a child in the village, whose small hands have been chapped and cracked by the cold winds of early spring. The mother's visit the day before was brief, her voice tender and hopeful, and Elias remembers the warmth in her eyes. He works slowly, crushing the herbs with his pestle, mixing them with beeswax and sweet olive oil until the thick, golden mixture shines like captured sunlight. As he works, Elias hums an old tune, one passed down from his own grandfather, soft and lilting, as if the song itself might soothe the balm's healing power. He smiles at the thought, even the simplest remedies carry stories and memories, a warmth beyond the herbs themselves. Throughout the day, villagers stop by, some to ask for advice, others simply to exchange a quiet word. There is the blacksmith, whose hands are cracked from years at the forge, the elderly widow with her slow, careful steps, and a young woman carrying a basket of wild flowers. Elias greets each one with a nod, a few kind words, and sometimes a small gift of herbs wrapped in soft cloth. The sun climbs higher, and the shop fills with the soft light filtering through the windows, casting long shadows across the rough wooden floor. The scent of drying herbs mingles with the faint tang of vinegar and honey, a comfort that feels like a warm embrace. As evening approaches, Elias tends to a small fire beneath a clay pot, preparing a gentle tea blend for himself, lemon balm, a touch of mint, and a whisper of lavender. The steam curls up in lazy spirals, carrying with it a promise of calm and rest. He settles into his favorite chair by the window, the worn leather creaking softly beneath him. Outside, the village quiets, and the first stars begin to blink open in the deepening sky. The world feels tender and slow, wrapped in the soft embrace of fading light and gentle shadows. And as you listen now, perhaps you too can feel that softness settling into your own breath, the day's edges blurring into calm, and the quiet peace of a night soon to come. Rest here a while, cradled in the gentle glow of candlelight and the slow, soothing rhythm of the apothecary's world. Can you hear the soft tapping of rain against the uneven cobblestones outside the apothecary's shop? It's a gentle, steady patter, like the rhythm of a slow heartbeat, whispering secrets to the earth and washing the dust of the day away. Inside, the air feels warm and safe, scented with the mingling of damp wood and the faint sweetness of drying herbs hanging from wooden beams. Elias stands by the window, watching the droplets race each other down the glass. The village, wrapped in mist and the soft gray light of a rainy afternoon, seems to slow even more than usual, as if the rain has drawn a velvet curtain over the world. The usual chatter of villagers has quieted, leaving only the occasional creak of shutters and the low murmur of footsteps under umbrellas. In these still moments, the apothecary's shop becomes a haven of warmth and calm. The fire crackles in the hearth, casting flickering shadows on the stone walls. Bottles and jars catch the light, their colors deepening, rich amber, smoky green, pale gold, as if they hold tiny, glowing secrets. The dried herbs overhead sway gently, filling the air with a soothing blend of rosemary, sage, and thyme, comforting like an old friend's embrace. Elias moves slowly about his workbench, his fingers tracing the smooth surfaces of wooden boxes and the delicate necks of glass vials. Today, he's preparing a special tincture, a careful blend of elderflower, honey, and a splash of warming brandy. It's meant for a young man in the village, recently returned from the fields, weary and feverish from a long week of heavy labor and the damp chill in the air. There is a softness in the way Elias works, a quiet devotion that turns each simple ingredient into something tender and healing. He crushes the elderflowers gently, their fragile petals falling like tiny stars into the dark liquid. The honey, golden and thick, drips slowly from a wooden spoon, pooling with warmth and sweetness. The brandy's sharp aroma mixes with the herbal scents, adding a touch of fire to the gentle blend. As he stirs the mixture with a small wooden spoon, Elias hums a low melody, a song his mother used to sing on stormy nights like this. The melody rises and falls softly, weaving into the patter of rain and the crackling fire, filling the room with a quiet comfort. Outside, the rain falls steadily, and the world feels hushed and safe, wrapped in a gentle cocoon of sound and scent. A small cat curls up on a woven basket in the corner, its soft breathing a quiet rhythm in the stillness. The day drifts slowly toward evening, and Elias begins to prepare a simple meal, a bowl of thick vegetable stew, simmered with root vegetables from his garden, fragrant herbs, and a pinch of salt. The steam rises in gentle clouds, filling the air with warmth and the earthy scent of fresh food. He eats slowly, savoring each bite as the rain continues its steady song outside. As twilight deepens, Elias lights a few more candles, their flames flickering softly against the growing shadows. He takes up his diary once again, a leather-bound book worn at the edges, and writes by the glow of candlelight. His pen moves slowly across the parchment, capturing the quiet moments of the day, the feel of rain on skin, the taste of sweet honey, the small kindnesses shared among neighbors. And as you listen now, perhaps you can feel the gentle rhythm of this rainy day settling into your own breath, the warmth of the fire and the soft flicker of candlelight inviting you to rest. Stay here a while longer, wrapped in the calm embrace of the apothecary's world, before the night quietly carries you away. Can you feel the hush of a morning wrapped in soft fog, where the village feels like a secret whispered between the hills and the sky? The air is cool and gentle, carrying the faint scent of damp earth and moss, and the distant call of a rooster somewhere just waking. Inside the apothecary's shop, the wooden shelves seem to hold their breath, waiting for the day to gently unfold. Elias moves through his morning with slow, deliberate steps. The flickering candlelight from the night before has long since given way to the pale, misty light that slips through the small, latticed windows. The glass panes are still flecked with tiny beads of dew, softening the edges of the world outside like a watercolor painting. Today, there is a letter resting on his work table, sealed with a thin ribbon and a faint scent of lavender tucked inside. It is from a traveling healer who once passed through the village, a rare visitor who carries stories and remedies from lands far beyond these hills. Elias unties the ribbon carefully, the paper crackling softly as he unfolds it. The letter speaks of distant herbs, of strange plants that grow where the sun kisses the earth differently, and of remedies made from roots and leaves unknown to most. The thought stirs something gentle inside Elias, a quiet longing mixed with gratitude. His own garden may be small, but it holds the wisdom of seasons and the steady rhythm of life here. He smiles softly, folding the letter and placing it gently among his other treasured papers. After tending to his herbs, checking their roots, brushing soil from their leaves, Elias prepares a small package for a neighbor. An elderly woman, known for her kind eyes and soft laughter, is to receive a bundle of chamomile and mint to soothe her restless nights. Elias wraps the herbs carefully in fine linen, tying the bundle with a simple thread. There is a warmth in these small acts, a thread of connection woven through kindness and care. As the village begins to stir, the familiar sounds return, the clatter of carts along the cobblestones, the murmur of voices greeting the day, and the faint melodies of children's laughter carried on the breeze. Elias listens with a soft smile, feeling the gentle pulse of community that surrounds his quiet shop. Midday brings a pause, a moment of stillness where Elias sits by the fire, a simple wooden cup of warm tea cradled in his hands. The tea is made from dried rose petals and a hint of lemon balm, fragrant and soothing. He breathes in the gentle steam, letting the warmth seep into his fingers and slowly spread through his chest. There is a certain peace in this slow passage of time, no rush, no hurry, just the steady unfolding of day into evening. As he sits, Elias's thoughts drift to the stories that will one day fill these pages of his diary, stories of healing, of quiet joys, and the soft magic found in the smallest moments. The sun sinks low, spilling a gentle gold across the village rooftops. Elias lights a few candles, their flames casting a warm glow that softens the shadows and invites calm. The scent of burning beeswax mingles with the herbs hanging overhead, a quiet reminder of days past and nights yet to come. And as you listen now, let the softness of this fading day settle within you like a gentle hand upon your shoulder, inviting rest and sweet dreams. Stay here in this tender moment, where the apothecary's world feels close and kind, before the night's embrace carries you gently away. Can you feel the soft stir of evening as it settles slowly over the village, like a warm shawl wrapped gently around tired shoulders? The sky is brushed with shades of deep rose and fading gold, and the air carries a crispness that whispers of approaching night. Inside the apothecary's shop, the familiar glow of candlelight casts a quiet, flickering warmth, painting the walls with shadows that seem to dance in time with the gentle crackle of the hearth fire. Elias moves with the ease of a man who knows his place in this quiet rhythm, his fingers tracing the smooth edges of clay pots and glass bottles as he prepares for the evening's work. Today, he is making a soothing ointment for an old farmer whose hands have been worn rough by years of tending the soil. The ointment is a simple blend of calendula petals, warm olive oil, and a touch of beeswax, mixed slowly and carefully until it takes on a rich, golden hue. As he works, Elias hums softly, a tune that feels like the comforting thread connecting generations. The scent of the calendula fills the air, gentle and floral, mingling with the deeper, earthy aroma of dried roots and fresh herbs. Each ingredient seems to carry its own story, the calendula known for its healing touch, the olive oil for its softness, and the beeswax for its strength and resilience. Outside, the village is quieting down. The last footsteps echo softly along the cobblestones, and the distant murmur of a nightingale drifts through the cool air. The shop's wooden door creaks slightly as a breeze slips in, carrying with it the faint scent of wood smoke and the promise of a peaceful night. Elias pauses by the window, watching as the first stars begin to shimmer in the deepening sky. There is a stillness here that feels like a gentle breath, a moment suspended between the day's labors and the coming rest. He takes a slow sip of warm herbal tea, a blend of lemon balm, lavender, and a hint of honey, letting the soothing flavors wash over him like a quiet lullaby. The apothecary's diary lies open on the table, its pages filled with notes and sketches, memories and small reflections. Elias picks up his pen, the nib scratching softly against parchment as he records the simple joys and quiet moments of the day, the laughter shared over a well-made remedy, the gratitude in a neighbor's eyes, the soft rustle of herbs in the evening breeze. As the fire's glow softens and the candles burn low, Elias tidies his workspace, folding cloths and arranging jars with gentle care. The shop feels like a sanctuary, a place where time slows and the worries of the world outside can be left at the door. And as you listen now, let this peaceful evening settle within you like a soft blanket wrapped around your heart, inviting you to rest and dream gently. Stay here a little longer, in the warmth of candlelight and the quiet comfort of the apothecary's world, before the night carries you softly away. Can you sense the delicate hush that drapes over the village just before dawn, when the world is still wrapped in sleep and the air holds a cool, gentle promise? The sky is a deep velvet, dotted with countless stars twinkling quietly like distant lanterns guiding the night. Inside the apothecary's humble shop, the silence feels thick and tender, broken only by the soft crackle of embers from the hearth, still glowing faintly from the night before. Elias rises slowly, his movements careful and unhurried as he stirs a small pot of chamomile tea over the dying coals. The scent curls around him, soothing and mild, like a whispered prayer for a peaceful day to come. He sips the warm liquid in tiny, thoughtful sips, letting the gentle heat ease the last remnants of sleep from his limbs. The early morning is his favorite time, a quiet space between night and day where the world seems to breathe in rhythm with his own. He tends to the herbs first, the fresh sprigs of rosemary, thyme, and sage resting on the worn wooden table. With careful fingers, he trims a few leaves here and there, preparing them to dry for the coming winter months. The scent of crushed rosemary fills the air, sharp and clean, mingling with the earthiness of damp soil clinging to roots pulled from the garden. A soft knock at the door stirs him from his quiet reverie. It's the village miller, a stout man with a kind smile, here to collect a bundle of lavender for his wife's troubled sleep. Elias wraps the fragrant stems gently in linen, the faint purple blooms peeking out like tiny, sleepy eyes. The miller's thanks are warm and gruff, and Elias feels the quiet comfort that comes from these small exchanges, the way kindness moves softly through the days like an unseen thread. Back inside, Elias begins preparing a salve, combining crushed comfrey leaves with honey and a bit of warm oil. This ointment is for a young mother whose baby has a rash, delicate and red against soft skin. He works with the same care as if it were for his own child, mixing and stirring until the balm shines golden in the flickering candlelight. The afternoon sun slips through the small window, casting dappled patterns across the rough-hewn floor. Outside, the village is alive with the gentle hum of daily life, the clink of wooden tools, the murmur of quiet conversations, and the occasional laughter of children playing in the fields. Inside, the apothecary's shop remains a sanctuary of calm, a place where time moves at the soft pace of nature's own rhythm. As evening falls once more, Elias sits by the fire with a well-worn book in hand. The pages are filled with old stories and remedies passed down through generations, their words carrying the weight of countless gentle hands and hopeful hearts. He reads aloud softly, the cadence of his voice blending with the crackling fire and the whisper of night outside. And as you listen now, may the quiet strength of this peaceful day settle gently over you, like the soft glow of candlelight in a darkened room. Rest here a little while longer, embraced by the calm and kindness of the apothecary's world, as night quietly draws its curtain around you. Can you feel the delicate stillness of night settling over the village like a soft sigh? The moon hangs low and pale in the sky, its silvery light spilling gently through the small windows of the apothecary's shop, mingling with the warm flicker of candle flames. Outside, the world sleeps quietly, fields and rooftops bathed in cool shadows, crickets singing their gentle song to the stars. Inside, Elias moves with calm ease, his footsteps muffled on the worn wooden floor. Tonight, he is preparing a simple sleep potion, a blend of valerian root, lavender, and a touch of honey to ease restless minds and soothe weary hearts. The herbs smell faintly sweet and earthy, their essence soft and reassuring like a lullaby whispered in the dark. As he crushes the dried valerian between smooth stones, Elias thinks of the many nights he himself has found comfort in this humble remedy, nights when worry weighed heavily, and the quiet of the dark seemed vast and endless. There is a gentle magic in these small rituals, he knows, a slow weaving of care and hope in every drop and sprinkle. The shop feels like a warm embrace, filled with the mingled scents of herbs, wax, and aged wood. Elias hums softly as he works, the melody a gentle thread connecting past and present, a quiet remembrance of his mother's voice long ago. The candlelight dances on the walls, casting shadows that seem to sway like old friends sharing stories by the fire. Outside, a soft breeze stirs the curtains, carrying with it the faint fragrance of blooming night flowers from the garden beyond. Elias pauses, breathing in the cool night air that slips through the cracked window, feeling the world's quiet pulse in that gentle moment. He finishes preparing the potion and sets it carefully beside the other bottles on the shelf, each one a small testament to healing, patience, and the quiet strength of daily life. Then, with a slow, contented sigh, Elias settles by the fire, the flickering flames casting a warm glow across his thoughtful face. He takes up his diary once more, pen in hand, and writes softly in the candlelight the simple truths of the day, the small kindnesses and moments of peace, the gentle hope that carries him through each night. And as you listen now, may the calm of this quiet evening wrap around you like a soft blanket, soothing and gentle, guiding you toward restful sleep. Stay here a while longer in the tender warmth of the apothecary's world, before the night quietly carries you away on its gentle wings. Can you feel the softness of a night so still it seems to hold its breath? The village sleeps beneath a sky dusted with shimmering stars, each one a tiny guardian watching over the world's quiet dreams. Inside the apothecary's shop, the candlelight flickers low, casting a gentle glow that warms the worn wood and time-worn stones, as if the very walls remember stories whispered long ago. Elias sits in his favorite chair, wrapped in a thick woolen cloak, the weight of the day melting away like the last flicker of a flame. The air carries the faint, comforting scent of dried lavender and thyme, mingling with the soft crackle of the dying fire. Outside, the night wraps the village in a tender embrace, and somewhere in the distance, an owl calls softly, a lullaby to the sleeping earth. He closes his diary, the pages filled with memories like gentle footprints across time, the simple acts of kindness, the healing touch of herbs, and the quiet moments that make life whole. There is a peacefulness here, a stillness that feels like a blessing, deep and true. Elias breathes in the calm, feeling the slow rhythm of night sinking into his bones. He thinks of you, dear listener, sharing this moment across the centuries, connected by the soft light of candle and the gentle pulse of stories told in whispered tones. May this quiet night bring you rest as deep and sweet as the forest's breath, may your dreams be wrapped in softness and light, and may you wake to the gentle touch of morning sun. Can you hear the gentle whisper of dawn as it tiptoes softly over the sleeping village? The first light stretches slowly across the sky, painting it with soft pinks and pale blues, like a delicate watercolor brushed by the hand of morning itself. Inside the apothecary's shop, the quiet stillness feels like a gentle pause, a moment held tenderly between the night's dreams and the day's awakening. Elias rises with a calm heart, the warmth of sleep still lingering like a faint glow beneath his skin. He moves to the window, where a thin veil of mist clings softly to the garden herbs, each leaf glistening with tiny drops of dew. The scent of damp earth and fresh lavender mingles with the crisp morning air, inviting a deep breath that fills his lungs with calm and clarity. Today, Elias plans to prepare a gentle tonic for the village children, an infusion of chamomile and elderflower to soothe their restless nights and ease the worries that sometimes visit young minds. As he carefully selects the dried blossoms from their jars, his fingers brush over the faded labels, worn with years of use and memory. There is a softness in this morning ritual, a quiet joy in the simple act of mixing herbs with care and love. Elias hums a tender melody, one his mother once sang to him in the long-ago twilight hours, its notes weaving through the quiet shop like a comforting blanket. Outside, the village stirs to life slowly, the distant clatter of wooden wheels on cobblestones, the soft murmur of voices greeting the new day, the faint crow of a rooster announcing the sun's arrival. Yet within these walls, time moves gently, a slow dance of light and shadow, scent and sound, all wrapped in the peaceful rhythm of healing and hope. Elias pours the warm infusion into small clay pots, sealing each one with a dab of beeswax. He imagines the smiles of children receiving this simple gift, their small hands wrapped around the comforting vessels, their dreams eased by the tender touch of nature's remedies. As the sun climbs higher, its light streaming golden through the windows, Elias sets his pots upon the wooden shelves, the room filled with the soft glow of morning and the quiet promise of a new day. And as you listen now, may the gentle breath of dawn carry you softly toward peaceful rest, wrapped in the warmth of candlelight and the quiet grace of the apothecary's world. Can you feel the gentle closing of a day, as the sun slowly dips beyond the distant hills, casting long shadows that stretch like sleepy fingers across the village? The air cools softly, carrying the faint scent of burning wood mingled with herbs drying by the hearth. Inside the apothecary's little shop, the warm glow of candlelight begins to bloom again, flickering gently against the stone walls, as if whispering secrets only the night can hear. Elias sits at his worn wooden table, hands folded thoughtfully, his eyes tracing the patterns of light and shadow dancing around him. Today's work is done, the herbs carefully measured, the salves prepared and wrapped, the tinctures bottled with loving precision. There is a quiet satisfaction in these simple acts, a rhythm that steadies the heart and honors the life he leads. Outside, the village breathes its evening song, the soft murmur of voices, the occasional clink of a bucket at the well, the distant bark of a dog settling in for the night. The world feels small and safe here, held in the tender arms of routine and care. Elias reaches for his diary, the pages well-loved and filled with memories like a patchwork quilt stitched from days past. He writes slowly, his words a gentle stream flowing beneath the candle's glow, reflections on the kindness of neighbors, the small miracles found in a healing herb, the quiet beauty of a day lived fully, if simply. He pauses, listening to the crackle of the fire and the soft rustling of herbs hanging from the ceiling. The night seems to lean in closer, wrapping the room in a soothing embrace. There is comfort here, in the stillness, in the soft glow, in the slow pulse of life unfolding. And as you listen now, may the peaceful close of this day settle gently over your heart, like a whispered blessing carried on the cool night air. Can you hear the soft rustle of leaves as a gentle breeze weaves through the trees outside the village? The night holds its breath, still and serene, while the stars shimmer faintly overhead, casting their delicate light like tiny whispers from another world. Inside the apothecary's quiet shop, the flicker of a single candle traces slow, dancing shadows along the walls, wrapping everything in a cocoon of warmth and calm. Elias sits quietly, his hands folded in his lap, eyes gazing thoughtfully into the flame. There's a tenderness in these moments, a stillness that feels like a soft sigh after a long day. He thinks of the herbs resting on their shelves, their earthy scents mingling in the cool air, and of the many hands they've helped over time, healing wounds both seen and unseen. Tonight, he reflects on the simple joys that have quietly filled his days, the laughter of children chasing butterflies in the meadow, the steady companionship of old friends sharing stories by the fire, the comforting rhythm of seasons turning slowly, like a gentle song sung just for him. A small smile touches his lips as he remembers a clumsy apprentice who once mixed lavender with rosemary, creating a rather pungent concoction that had everyone giggling long after the mistake was corrected. These little moments, woven between work and worry, are the threads that hold the tapestry of life together. Outside, the village breathes softly, cradled by night's tender embrace. The distant hoot of an owl punctuates the silence, a gentle reminder that even in darkness, there is watchfulness, care, and quiet light. As you listen now, may this peaceful night wrap you gently in its arms, lulling your thoughts to rest and filling your dreams with gentle wonders. Can you feel the soft hush that falls when the world is wrapped in night's quiet cloak? Outside the apothecary's window, the stars blink like distant lanterns, gentle and steady, as if watching over the village's peaceful slumber. The scent of herbs, dried and bundled, drifts faintly in the cool air, a soothing reminder of the earth's gentle gifts and the quiet work that goes into healing. Elias leans back in his chair, the worn wood creaking softly beneath him. The day's labors are behind him now, and only the soft crackling of the fire and the flicker of candlelight fill the room. He thinks of the many seasons that have passed in this humble shop, the summers fragrant with blooming lavender and the winters crisp and sharp with frost, but it is the quiet moments like this that stay longest in his heart. He recalls the faces of those who came seeking remedies, not just for the body, but for the soul. The weary mother with tired eyes, clutching a child's fevered hand, the old farmer grateful for relief from aching joints, the young couple hopeful for a future filled with health and laughter. Each story is a thread woven into the fabric of this place, a gentle reminder that healing is as much about kindness as it is about herbs. Elias's fingers trace the edges of a small wooden box, a gift from a friend long ago, filled with seeds for next spring's garden. There is comfort in these simple things, in the cycles of growth and rest, in the promise of new life to come. As the candle burns low, Elias closes his eyes briefly, breathing in the calm of the night. He knows that dawn will come again, bringing new tasks and new hopes, but for now, there is only this moment, soft, still, and whole.
you. 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 you.